to do that. While it may not be, reasonable to be speaking to every media house every day, I think at least call press conferences.
Yeah.
At those press conferences, journalists will ask questions. Those you can speak to,
even
you speak to them. Those you can't.
Even if for nothing at all, the presidency has presidential press corps. Parliament has parliamentary press corps. The judiciary, why? Because they realize that the specialized communication they do requires a certain caliber of journalists who understands their operations. So the person can manage the information properly, and also because of the access they are given, the person will not abuse the access. So I have no problem if you even have a police press corps,
security press corps,
where periodically look, we journalists, we get a lot of education. There are certain briefings we get because of the work we do, which gives us context. Okay, so I don't have no problem with you having even a security press corps who understand. But you see, to decide that you won't talk,
it's wrong. It's
a
great problem.
I think it even creates a certain sense of disdain. It's like, oh, we can do what we want to do without you. And you see, the reason this is important is that now you have a story where you are claiming to rescue somebody, or you are suggesting to rescue somebody who we are now being told was kidnapped by security operatives. All right? Now, yes, we are being told. So whatever. My point is that, Sky, the police have to change their approach, but the national security also. Silence is not an option in this story. So let's go there, because this is a very serious claim.
You see,
with a series of narrations that if somebody is making this up, then the person is very imaginative.
You see, I think if the folks at National Security are listening, and I do know that they are listening, it is important that they issue a statement or address a press conference on this matter.
Very serious.
As to exactly what they know, when they came to know it, and what they did about it. Because reading the Herald newspaper, the impression is created as though this is a state-sponsored, kidnapping, which has gone wrong. And when people got wind of it, quickly the lady was dumped somewhere. Now, for any security institution to just look at the story and move on as though nothing has happened, that would be unacceptable. Because we need confidence in the system. We cannot assume that we can go to sleep and our security is guaranteed when the impression is created through media reports or some suggestions publicly that people we pay to do A, B, C, D to ensure our security are allegedly involved in acts that undermine our individual and collective security. So it is important that the national security system, whatever the position is, they have to come out and tell us on the basis of the report that we have heard and measuring that against the police statement. What exactly was their role in this particular matter?
What do they know
about the woman's alleged disappearance?
Are they investigating it?
Did they investigate it? Are they investigating it? Do they know of people involved?
Are they involved?
When did they become aware, and what did they do about it? Because if the media keeps feeding the public based on information they have, I believe the Herald must have verified the information they put out. I would expect that the police, the national security people, will be minded by the casualties resulting from this statement, as a result of which they need actually to come out. The reason why it is important is that we are in an election year. And you would notice that a number of times we've heard directly from people within the political system suggest that some people within the security establishment are seeking to undermine our democracy. Recently, a senior officer of the military was mentioned. Thus far, we have not had a robust denial,
even a clarification
of the matter. That sends a really, really bad signal. You cannot choose to be silent when people are doing things in your name, or they are bringing your name into disrepute on a matter that has the potential to undermine our collective security. So it is important that the police will come out, the national security people will come out, and the military too, where they are linked to these matters. It is important that they should speak to them. Now, as you said, issuing a statement is sort of passive because it is not active enough as to ensure engagement, constructive engagement. Sometimes, we the media people, we get it wrong. We may not ask all the right questions, but at least some questions get asked. So these two issues that I have raised, the national security people cannot pretend that they do not know about it. They must come out to say what it is not an option. I do know that there are people suggesting contrary facts from within the system on the matter, but they should come and put the facts out.
The other point we need to make here, Sky, is that, in a democracy, there are official channels of accountability. And for some reason, because of the challenges in Parliament has not been able to rise up to the occasion to say, to give an example, when Trump was shot, I watched the Senate hearing with the head of the...
That was bloody.
What's the name
Secret
of the
Service?
Secret Service. And this was live.
Yeah,
you see,
it was
this
a very
thing.
intense grilling.
Ghana's security is not as wild as American security. American security is probably 50 times more sophisticated than ours. When their president was shot, or former president, at a campaign event, they didn't say we are going to hold it in camera. They put the thing on television. Even somebody in Ghana was watching, and I watched the whole thing. And they systematically grilled this woman to the point where she had to resign. Because America comes first, the safety of the country comes first. There are lots of lessons there. Bipartisanship when it matters, national outrage on things that threaten America's security, and openness. They didn't say that, this is the shooting of a president, a former president, so let's do it without media.
It's a security matter.
It was everywhere. And the truth is that a lot of our people go for training there. So they cannot pick and choose which one they want and which one they don't want. In this particular case, and I'm not even referring to this kidnap case, I'm saying that when you read the national security strategy that they released, this is like 2021.
Yes.
Sky, they admit that the world is changed.
Yep.
They admit that the way social media works, they have to have a different approach to engagement. All right? Proactivity, being with the people. Because, Sky, if you look at terrorist activities in West Africa, you can't use official channels alone to get intelligence. They require to be among the people. People need to trust them. The media must understand the context in which they are reporting. So, for example, if you are reporting something on Boko, we have to be minded of the fault line so that even though we speak truth, we are responsible. Because we don't want our report to worsen a security situation. So, the point I'm making is that the more volatile the security environment is, the more the approach has to be more human-faced. Because we are in a society where people can cross borders easily and come and cause mayhem.
Exactly.
If the eyes and ears of the security are not on the ground to give you, if they don't trust you, they don't trust that if I call and tell you, one of the problems we've had with police in the past has been somebody calls to give a whistleblower, and the next day the thieves are in his house to beat him up. Right? Confidence in national security is
Very
critical in a time like this. And when stories come suggesting rogue behavior, this is roguish behavior if it is true. It has to be investigated. I even think beyond national security issuing a statement, there has to be another body. You see, accountability, accountability has to happen within government and also from outside. So there's the legislature that holds other arms of government accountable. All right? So if Parliament were functioning, legislature, the Committee on Defense and Security would say, no, we have to invite these guys to question them. And this is without prejudice to what the media will write, because ours is social accountability. We don't have an official function. We cannot summon somebody to talk. But if the committee decides, if they go back to say, look, this is such a serious matter that we are going to summon them to come and answer questions, so be it, because Sky, this is an international airline.
Yeah, that's right.
This is Emirates Airline.
It has to do with investment, the
You get me?
investment climate, the
So,
security climate.
And the reason being given is such a flimsy reason that they wanted the aircraft to stop or something. Like some very funny thing. And Sky, by the way, imagine if this person kidnapped was a citizen, whatever, you use the word alleged. Imagine it was an American diplomat or an Israeli diplomat or an Emirati diplomat. This would have been very, very serious.
Yeah, because the first thing they would do is whoever, if it is in Israel, our ambassador there will be, immediately summoned.
That's the point. Our citizens must also, you see, what I'm trying to say is that we shouldn't only escalate issues when it has to do with other citizens.
Yeah.
This is a citizen of Ghana who we all admit was taken forcibly from where she was going and dumped somewhere, and then later went home. We don't know who did it, right? And now we need to clarify who did it and what the police did, whether the police actually did whatever they claim they did. Because the police are claiming now that they rescued the person, where the person also said, or according to the Herald, the person has come back home through some means of good Samaritans. My point is that we should not only escalate matters like this when it has to do with
other people.
important foreigners.
Or just foreigners.
It could be somebody close to you.
Yeah, you see, Bernard, we all watch CNN, we all watch Fox News, we all watch BBC, we all watch Sky News. I mean, those who have the means to actually watch these channels. Now, these set the very best examples of how policing is done as to engage or include the public in that which they do. There's a story of an alleged kidnapping. It comes to the attention of the police. The first thing they do is the local police chief would organize a small press conference of local journalists and international journalists, if they are interested, address them that, look, these are the allegations that we have received. These are the facts of the matter. This is what we know so far. This is what we intend to do going forward. And we are inviting the public. If they have any information, they should help us with this. Now, questions will naturally come up. Now, those questions, you are not obliged to answer every question. If you don't have the answer, you can always respectfully tell the journalist that, look, as for this particular matter, this is how much I know about it. And when I receive further information or instructions on the matter, I would address the same. This blanket ban in our case is not working, because what is happening is elsewhere. Through things like that, people their fears are allayed. Communities are put away that, the police say that they have posted people into the area. They are addressing the issue. They are looking into it. We can also get involved to get to the bottom of the matter. So the very passive approach of issuing statements, it may have served some purpose, but it has not been as useful as we would have expected. So it's important that there's a different approach. And on the matter of the parliament getting involved, I'm aware, or we are aware, that Parliament is being. There's an invitation that we should recall. The Speaker should recall the House. It is important that this forms part of the agenda for the MPs, because what's happening is that all kinds of claims are being made. Look, when I have the privilege of traveling out to meet colleagues from other parts of the world, there are always questions about what is the security climate in West Africa, because we get hit by what happens in Burkina Faso, Mali, and related communities. And almost always I am having to tell them that, look, Ghana is an entirely different space. We are doing A, B, C, D about the situation. Look, I cannot just be speaking positive or about the country when in fact there are things happening that contradict what appears to be the situation.
Making positive confessions about Ghana.
I beg you, it's important. It is important that national security speaks to this matter. The police must address a press conference on the matter to put the matter.
Let's hear some quick comments. Thank you, Sky. 8:47. Don't forget, EdTech Monday is coming this morning, and we're talking about teachers in EdTech. Nathan's going to host a very interesting panel after 9 a.m. Let's hear some more quick comments.
Bernard and team, I have had reason to complain about Ghana Police's centralized communications. The Adabaka robbery incident could have been solved quickly had the Adabaka station taken initial action to inform the public about the identity of the robbery vehicle used in the robbery. Look at the time delay in putting out info about the vehicle numbers, the CCTV images. This is Jesse from Sakumoto. But some of the operatives' orientation of their mandate is just that bad. Then also there is that point where operatives are into regime protection rather than protecting the citizens. Good morning, Bernard. I'm enjoying your show this morning. Can you help me with the difference between kidnapping and abduction? William from Hohoi send that through.
I don't know. Sky has to help me. I suspect.
Well, I mean, in essence, they can be used interchangeably, but I have to still verify, because the point is that you have taken somebody with a lawful authority in both cases, generally. But of course, there will be some fine distinction between them. But if what happened is anything to go by, then there was no lawful authority, because even if you are arresting the person on the basis of some misconduct, you must inform the person that, look, Madam, I am arresting you for A, B, C, D, and I am taking you for processing and for subsequent action. In this particular case, the suggestion from the newspaper report is that what was done was not done lawfully.
All right. Well, let's talk about Providence. With Obaya, Providence Insurance, reliable WhatsApp assistant. You can buy, renew, and file claims for your vehicle anytime, anywhere. I mean, babia. Simply add Obaya's number to your phone contact, send her a hi, and follow the prompts. She'll assist you with everything from buying a new policy to renewing an existing one or even filing a claim. It's hassle-free and super convenient. With Provident Insurance, man, you are covered.
So there's just quick distinction. So kidnapping is usually accompanied with a ransom for money or other gains. However, a crime of abduction is considered to be when a person has been taken away from his or her original location by persuading him or her by some act of fraud or with in a forceful way.
So kidnapping is when they ask for money.
Yeah, that's right.
In addition to the abduction.
Yeah, the abduction is where they may use.
So you take them. So you adapt. You can abduct without kidnapping, but when you kidnap, it means you've abducted and also asked for money.
Exactly. So, but the two, as I said, involve
demand for ransom.
Unlawfully taking somebody.
Now, the festive season is giving the best entertainment on DSTV. We have live soccer on Super Sports, Crystal Clear HD. No need to miss out on the league and cup matches. And we also have local content on Aquaba Magic. What's the best of Ghanaian and other African movies? Sky, I was at a barber shop and I was watching a movie in Ebe. I couldn't believe it.
No, which channel was showing it? That's beautiful.
It was Aquaba Magic and it was Akofa Jani Asiedu.
Oh, beautiful. They must have been doing something on the...
And this is not voice over.
Or they were doing it in proper Ebe.
It wasn't like voiced over. They were actually acting.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And they were actually doing subtitles in English.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
Oh, man.
Beautiful. I intend to go into that space because our story is not out there.
And you speak the language.
Yeah, that's why it's important. So
you can add Ganyu.
Yeah, you will also be featuring. Either you'll be on Sofo or you'll be a big man.
So you can get a DSTV decoder, dial *759 has to reconnect or to stay connected and be part of the enjoyment this season. So apart from the Aquaba Magic and the soccer, we also have a plethora of other channels like Cartoon Network, Disney Junior and Nickelodeon. DSTV, home of entertainment.
You know, there's something so powerful about hearing something being done in your language. You know, when I watched Expandables, they use an line in it.
It was powerful.
Kogave. The guy didn't say it properly.
But you knew what you were
when he said Kogave, again, it was a case of, butu butu like that. And then also watching the lion, the woman, is it the woman king?
Is it the Lion King?
No.
The Woman King.
The Woman King.
The Woman
that's
King.
Right. The one that Davis featured. Yeah, that's right.
Because they were speaking for.
Exactly, they were speaking for, and I could relate to that.
Yeah.
You know, so it is powerful hearing your language spoken.
Yeah. There's also another movie, The Queen of Accra. It's done solely in Ghana.
It's
beautiful.
And you can buy.
They watch Papa.
You can.
No, straight that one. I don't watch yet. I'm for find that one.
You can buy if you want to watch it in clear HD. Get a Broom LED TV.
Thank you.
And get another TV for free.
Powerful.
Hey.
Yeah, buy a Broom LED TV and take home either a free TV, a free microwave, oven. Now you can buy a Broom air conditioner and get a free ceiling fan.
Thank you.
So it's basically buy one get another free. So you buy a LED TV, they give you another TV or a microwave oven. So you buy a big TV, they give you a smaller TV. Buy an AC, they give you a ceiling fan. In addition, buy a freezer and they add a blender.
Powerful.
Who's doing this?
BRUHM.
Broom.
Call 0800 100 247. And you know, I know you like watching your TV big.
Yeah.
Now that you have
my mother has a broom fridge.
It's a very good brand actually.
Oh yeah, it is.
So the number is 0800 100 247. So you can watch Amorin. Deliver the 1-1 draws.
Charlie, you're not serious.
Which is 3 back. Baller football.
Players are not born.
Baller football.
This message from the president of the Journalists Association within Parliament, the press call. Yeah, so
Andrew
he said,
Edwin Arthur.
No, this is from Simon Ajinab, and he says that you guys are discussing a very important matter this morning. Like Bernard is suggesting, it is important for the police to have a police press call because their sister agency, which is the military, have the defense press call.
You see?
I hope the officers of the police administration are listening and they will do the needful. Well, he knows the importance of these things.
Exactly.
Because he's the president or the dean of the parliamentary press corps.
All right, let's talk about Cerelac first.
Yes, Bernard, mothers love this one. Favorite Cerelac now comes in a new variant with a combined goodness of wheat and maize grains fortified with iron, vitamins, and minerals. Guess what? This new Cerelac wheat wheat and maize comes at an affordable price, only 2 Ghana cedis per sachet. Prepare this new Cerelac wheat and milk. All you need is milk. Cerelac way. And Emmerich. So Cerelac Care for Them, count on us is an advert that's FDA approved. And latest foam is saying that no one understands comfort better than they do. We produce a wide range of meticulously crafted mattresses, carefully engineered to provide optimal spinal alignment, pressure relief, temperature regulation. Ensure you have restful sleep every night. We can fully customize your orders, however big or small the project. We are ever ready to journey with you through the process. Our showroom is a comfort sanctuary with experts ready to help you find your perfect match. So call us +233 231 15562 or connect with us via all our socials. Visit www.latestfoamghana.com. Your perfect comfort awaits. Visit Latest Foam, your ultimate furniture destination.
Let's talk about Deep Solar.
Deep Solar says if you're looking for reliable, uninterrupted electricity supply, we are here for you. We've got you covered with only 58,000 Ghana cedis. You can go fully solar and enjoy independence from the grid. No more lights off or power fluctuations, just peace of mind and savings. So call us on 059 549 4113. Visit deepsolar.com to learn more. Remember, your energy independence begins when you call Deep Solar.
All right, Nathan.
The luckiest is here. They've got the grand draw on the 30th of November where all kinds of amazing prizes can be won. In between now and then, you can dial *712#, follow the prompts, buy as many tickets as you can, and be the luckiest. The luckiest luck is everywhere and is regulated by NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform. Now, if you've ever noticed a blind spot while you're driving or reading, or you've been experiencing blurred vision or double vision in your visual field, you need to visit Roberts & Sons because there could be a problem with your vision. They offer visual field testing services, so your eyes are tested and you know what exactly is wrong with your eyes. Call them on 0302 222 601. Roberts & Sons Optical Services. Seeing is believing.
So abduction could also involve a person less than 18 years old out of lawful custody. So if you take somebody below 18 out of lawful custody of a parent or guardian, it also amounts to abduction. So that's another subcategory. We have some lawyers giving us more information.
Yes, if you are wondering who's turning 10, it's the Junction Mall. They are celebrating a decade of unforgettable moments, unbeatable shopping, and your favorite events. Join them as they celebrate 10 years. Come make your memories with us as we say thank you for 10 amazing years at the Junction Mall. The Junction Mall, join, explore, shop, enjoy celebrating 10 years all for you. And if you want litigation free land, speak to the people at Royal Kingdom Estate. They are at Cantonments opposite Soul Clinic International School. They've got properties in prime areas like Accra and Ebri, and they have all kinds of amazing homes furnished and all of that ready for you. Call them on 0272 778880. Send them an email, info@Royal Kingdom Estate. Royal Kingdom Estate, building communities, nurturing dreams.
Okay. When we come back, we are talking teachers in EdTech.
Come on.
You know, our teachers did a great job before the era of all these gadgets. And trust me, with these gadgets, they will do much, much better. You know, look, these days, some of our teachers even do Zoom sessions, right, with our kids when like exams are coming and they don't have to come all through traffic and stuff. But EdTech is much more than that. There's a lot more that's happening in that space. And the community has, over the past 2 years or so, been coming up with these programs once a month on Citi, where they discuss issues on how to improve outcomes, how to use technology, how adapt to the changing phases of all the digital evolutions. Nathan Kwao, when is Mama Tali in the hot seat?
So there's this friend of mine who was recently moved to the UK. One of the things so difficult for her has to do with preparing lesson notes. So one day she had me on air. Then she called me subsequently. Oh, Charlie, look, I'm sweating over this matter. How can I ease the pressure on me? So I gave her a number of clues on some of the options available that she can deploy artificial intelligence by feeding the system with her notes and all of that, and how those can actually free her while she is in the loop, ensuring that the notes comply with and also how to assess students with
Wow.
it by setting the questions and all of that.
Can you give me AI to help me host my show so I will not suffer like this?
Oh no, of course I can give you options. I
Algorithms.
can write. I'm actually even writing paper for Oxford on some of these matters.
Gabelis
It's important. Yes.
Anyam.
Akutu,
Anyam.
why you they do your face like that?
Charlie.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Ojam, did you know the NDC once promised a one-time premium for NHIS?
Yeah, but when they won the elections, they could not implement it and almost collapsed the NHIS. Today, this same man is promising Mahama Care and free primary health care.
They think we are kids in this country. We don't have short memories, like Mahama said. Remember the capitation pilot in Ashanti? You were stuck with one health facility, no matter what.
That was so limiting. But look at us now under the MPP. There's real change.
The MPP expanded NHIS coverage to include serious conditions like childhood cancer, sickle cell disease, and kidney dialysis for children under 18 years and old people from 60 years and above. Today, with just a short code, you can renew your insurance.
Truly, the MPP has restored our hope in the health system. See the Agenda 111 and other new hospitals are springing up everywhere.
So, this election, let's vote for continuity. Let's vote to protect our healthcare. We will not fall for fake promises again.
Come on, come on. Good boy. Honey, look, he's crawling. Good job. The new Cerelac Wheat and Maize has the combined goodness of wheat and maize grains fortified with iron, vitamins, and minerals also found in fruits and vegetables. To prepare the new Cerelac Wheat and Maize, just add milk. Enjoy your little one's big moments at less cost. Cerelac, care for them, count on us. This advert is FDA approved.
Electroland's Black Friday and Xmas Bonanza. Xmas came early. Black Friday is here with amazing offers you won't believe. Get a Samsung 32-inch LED Smart TV for just 3,299 Ghana cedis. Cool down with a Samsung AC starting at 6,499 Ghana cedis plus a free blender. Need a fridge? Grab a TCL top mount for only 3,299 Ghana cedis and get a free deep fryer. The media top load washing machine is just 2,499 Ghana cedis plus a free 5-gas burner. Enjoy Netflix in style with the NASCO 50-inch Smart TV for only 4,999 Ghana cedis and get a free NASCO karaoke speaker. Rush to any Electroland showroom or dealer store across Ghana for huge discounts and free gifts. And don't miss the Achedie Kessie promo. Win double every week and monthly. Electroland, your home for affordable electronics and appliances.
Hello, boss. I just drove out of your premises. I've called you several times. Boss, I beg.
I gave you an opportunity to present your proposal with your financial statements. You didn't. If we approve and request for an invoice, that will take you another month, eh? You couldn't even provide receipts from the last job. My brother, we have given the contract to someone else who promptly furnished us with what we needed. Get serious.
Yehoah.
Don't be caught in this mess ever again. Restart with Build. Build provides businesses with a comprehensive accounting software with features that make your bookkeeping, accounting, tax, and payroll functions seamless. Our support team is always available to assist and respond to all your inquiries. Log on to www.build.africa and sign up. Call 030-84007 or 0303-974-832 for more information. Build. Bookkeeping made simple. Results made extraordinary.
December 7, let's vote number 1. Let's vote for Dr. Baumia. Estroho.
Make life easier with Sigma Appliances. Yeah. Your excellent go-to choice. 5 Sigma Appliances.
From air conditioners, fridges, freezers, washing machines, small appliances, and more, Sigma Appliances has them all. Visit Platinum Impex on the Sprinters Road behind Okadeco for wholesale. Call 030-280-1555 or WhatsApp +233-55-466-6444. Visit PlatinumImpex.net.
It's that time of the year. Ghana, brace yourselves because Melcom's Black Friday sales is back and we're bringing you unbeatable deals like never before. From the 15th of November to the 1st of December, get ready to shop and save big at Melcom. Electronics, home essentials, furniture, or fashion, we've got deals you can't resist. Melcom's Black Friday, it's more than a sale, it's an experience. Stock is limited, so hurry and shop early to avoid missing out. Melcom is where Ghana shops for value, and this Black Friday, the value just got even better. Don't let these unbeatable deals pass you by. Melcom, where Ghana shops. Remember, terms and conditions apply.
Mommy, I can't believe I swallowed the lies the MPP told us about John Mahama.
My dear, as for those people, they have been telling lies since Kwame Nkrumah's time. They accuse Kwame Nkrumah of wasting money on the Akosombo Dam.
Hey! Mama, the MPP told Ghanaians that John Mahama owns hotels and ships in Dubai. Yet, they have been in power for 8 painful years and haven't been able to prove any of those lies. I'm not surprised though that John Mahama is still working a free man.
Kuma. Even the journalists who were used to peddle these lies have come to apologize. Yet, these MPP people are still telling these same lies in 2024.
Hey.
What a bunch of wicked liars.
You know, their own special prosecutor has come to clear John Mahama of the Airbus scandal, just like Shraj cleared him of the Ford bride lie. John Mahama is squeaky clean.
Now we know the truth, and the truth has set us free. Surely, as the Lord liveth, this time lies will not be.
No way.
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
Come on. Good boy. Honey, look, he's crawling. Good job. The new Cerelac Wheat and Maize has the combined goodness of wheat and maize grains fortified with iron, vitamins, and minerals also found in fruits and vegetables. To prepare the new Cerelac Wheat and Maize, just add milk. Enjoy your little one's big moments at less cost. Cerelac, care for them, count on us. This advert is FDA approved.
The luckiest.
Star 712 hash.
Luck is everywhere, for everyone, yeah.
Here's to the friends who dialed star 712 hash and found no regrets. To the investors who struck gold. To the health workers who diagnosed luck with precision. To the tough guy who couldn't hold back his tears. To the passionate fan who couldn't contain his joy. To the seamstress who turned her hard-earned stitches into a bundle of happiness. And now, here's to you. Your next big win is right here.
Luck is everywhere, for everyone.
Dial star 712 hash. Now join in the luckiest winning celebration. Every 1st July 2024. Over dial star 712 hash. Now I can to tickets as a group, individual, and now even as a community. Now win is the car prizes are in the community draw or go for the grand draw on the 30th of November 2024. Unlock your luck with star 712 hash. Now join in the winning streak now.
Star 712 hash.
Luck is everywhere, for everyone, yeah. The luckiest.
Are you hoping to start university this January? If you want a British degree from a world-class university at a fraction of the cost, then join Lancaster University Ghana in Accra. With a diverse student community, vibrant campus life, and up to 50% scholarship to support your study, Lancaster University Ghana provides you with a world-class education that creates endless possibilities globally. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Apply to join Lancaster University Ghana, where learners become leaders. Admissions are currently open for our January 2025 intake. Apply now for our foundation program. For more information, contact us at +233 030 221 8989 or send an email to admissions@lancaster.edu.gh. Lancaster University Ghana, the only British university campus in West Africa.
Big is better. Broom is best. Happy moment starts with Brew. Buy one and get one free. It is Brew. Up to 25% discount. Buy an LED TV and get another TV for free. Buy an air conditioner and get a ceiling fan for free. Simply ask of Brew. There is more for everyone in Ghana. Free gifts and more on Broom freezers, refrigerators, and many more. Rush to your nearest Broom dealer or 0800 100 247. Broom leaves you with a smile.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Hello and welcome to the November edition of EdTech Monday, live on the Citi Breakfast Show on Citi FM, and we are live on Mest Africa's Facebook page and Citi FM's Facebook page as well. Now, what is EdTech Monday? EdTech Monday is a platform for EdTech entrepreneurs, education stakeholders, and government reps to facilitate critical conversations on the use of technology for teaching and learning. It's an initiative of the MasterCard Foundation's Regional Center for Innovative Teaching and Learning, and is part of the foundation's strategy to find solutions to Africa's youth employment by closing the gap in access to quality education and advancing the integration of tech in education policies and practices across Africa. That's why we do this on the last Monday of every month. And today is the last Monday of November. This month we are talking about teachers. Teachers are my favorite people on earth, because I always say that I'd love to teach. The next chapter of my life, I want to spend it as a teacher. So yeah. So in classrooms across the world, teachers stand at the heart of education. They nurture young minds, they shape the future, but their role these days is going beyond traditional boundaries. In an era where technology is rapidly advancing, educators have become innovators and all of that. So this month we are talking about the incredible stories of teachers and education leaders who are driving meaningful change in Ghana and beyond. And we'll be celebrating the teacher's role as an innovator and an influencer in adopting tools and platforms that enhance teaching and learning. And I've got a panel of people who know they are teaching. They are experts at teaching. And by the time we are done, they would have taught us a thing or two. All right, my first guest is Florencia. Florencia is Learning Experience Analyst at Azubi Africa. Florencia, thank you for coming. Good morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, my second guest is Ademilade Adebanjo. He is a graduate of the Dayspring International Academy. Ademilade, good morning. Thank you for coming.
Good morning. Thank you too for having me.
All right, and my next panelist is Sarah Osei, founding partner, ESDE Foundation Africa and West Africa lead at Instill Education. Sarah, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, and good morning to you and your listeners.
All right, and last but not least, Gideon Saki. He's a tech career coach and he's also with Azubi Africa. Gideon, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
I see. So we have two people from Azubi Africa. I see. So it's an Azubi thing. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. It's always an honor having my guests. Let me start off with this question I throw to everybody. I've mentioned your names, what you do, but we may not have an idea briefly. So, Ademilade, let me start off with you. You are the only person without a title of a teacher or anything, but you graduated from Dayspring International Academy. So, one, how was it like there? And two, what are you doing now?
Okay, so I did my A-levels at Dayspring International Academy. I did business, economics, and IT for my A-levels, and I'm grateful to have passed with flying colors.
Wonderful, congrats.
Thank you so much. So when I graduated from Dayspring, I actually interned as a teacher at a school. So I spent about 6 weeks to a month interning as the computing teacher at the Montessori school. That was Greenland top class Montessori.
Okay.
So it was a wonderful experience. It gave me something to do with my time aside my hobbies, which is playing basketball and reading and writing, because I'm an athlete as well.
Okay.
So all in all, it was a wonderful experience. It gave me some insight as to what teachers deal with sometimes when they're teaching and like some of the challenges. So as a student, I've somehow been in both shoes per se.
You saw it from a teacher's perspective.
Yeah, from a teacher's perspective. Like when I was a kid, I never understood, but now I can understand now. So
you better appreciate
exactly.
teachers.
So after that, I've just been playing basketball, reading, just learning a bit, writing, and I recently just started a modeling career and doing social media. So
interesting
that's
stuff.
what I've been doing my time so far.
I like that. Great stuff there. Florencia, you're with Azubi Africa. Your role is learning experience analyst. Some of these roles are
oh yes.
So what do you do? Just tell us, what do you do in a few minutes?
So I would start from where I started off from. I started from the traditional classroom. So I have about 5 years of experience in the traditional classroom teaching mathematics,
marker,
everything, like the whole 9 years. And then transition into a remote learning environment. And as a learning experience analyst, what I do is to be part of the entire learning process of a learner. So from understanding concepts to being able to apply it, I'm all in there. I liaise with the technical team, the technical trainers, and then the career coaches as well, to ensure that the learners have a holistic learning experience. Now I think I've been absorbed more into the career side, where I've also, been facilitating business skills teachings for our tech learners. So yeah, in summary, that's what I do.
I see. Wonderful. Sarah, you're with SD Foundation Africa, the West Africa lead also at Instill Education. What do you do? What's your average day like?
Thank you so much, Nathan. I'm just happy to be surrounded by these wonderful people. I've never been a teacher, but like a movie I watched somewhere 2005, The Ultimate Gift, I know that I help people to realize their gifts. I started off, and I'm very, very blessed. I have been the protege of very important people in Ghana. The late Professor Francis Alote and currently Professor Jofo Sanamwa Mensah, the brainchild behind Ghana's curriculum. So I cannot fail to support teachers. My work at Instill Education is for teachers. We have lots of interventions for learners, but the teacher is the pivot around which all these revolves. So how can we support the teachers to build technology skills? And that is what I do at Instill Education. At the pre-service space, at the in-service space, we support teachers and school leaders to become the best version of them. And at SDEV is Education and Skills Development. It's the same education. We are proposing that teachers, there are a lot of things SDEV is doing. For instance, next year is International Year of Quantum Science, which we are mobilizing quantum. So we'll talk about it maybe in future. Talk about quantum science, quantum information. We are promoting TVET as a viable option. You shouldn't be, because you didn't do well, you're doing TVET, but all the things around here is TVET. How do we make it like the child that got grade 6 is taking TVET and doing it the best way? But the purpose of teaching in SDEV is still up, because something teaching learning assessment platform, whereby what is unique is unpacking our learning curriculum. Ghana just got a curriculum in 2020. How do we unpack it to make sure that teachers can have access to it? The other aspect is parents are becoming too busy these days. How do we get them involved in the learning of their children? So these are the things we use technology to enhance. Thank you.
That's a heavy plate you have there. Gideon, what do you do? You're also with Azubi Africa. Your role is a tech career coach. Some of these titles. So what do you do really?
Yeah, so I mean, as our panelists have also said, I do have a background in IT, information technology, and I started out as a software developer. However, getting into my national service, I got the opportunity to teach, similar to
just like me. Teaching is wonderful.
Yeah, and
trust me, teaching is fun.
I mean, I have the story that my first day at the school, I was asked to take class 1 as an ICT. And you can imagine, because that's a whole new level of interaction and engagement, because here you need to be able to understand the kids in the first place and then be able to present it to them also in that manner. You need to use things that they are familiar with to then introduce them to areas that they are not familiar with. That allowed me to have like a true passion for teaching. And coming into Azubi Africa, we started the Azubi Africa program, where we teach young Africans on tech, specifically data science, cloud engineering, and then front-end development as well. I happen to be the first dean of students for Azubi Africa. And by reason of that, it was due to the fact that I loved helping people also achieve their goals.
Okay.
I realized that just by speaking, I could somewhat motivate. So that was also a plus for me. Going forward, I now ventured more into career coaching, where we help learners also get prepared for the job market.
Okay.
That is through CV preparation, interview preparation, and then also application. So that's what I do at the moment, aside also teaching on business skills and others. Yeah.
Great stuff. So for our listeners, you have a great understanding of the panel, what they do, their strengths, and the various perspectives they will bring to today's conversation. Gideon, let me start off with you. Why do we have to celebrate teachers as change makers in EdTech adoption, especially in Ghana? Why do we have to do that?
Yeah, and I draw off of just the experiences we've all shared, and you can tell that there is a really strong role that teachers play. They shape the narrative, as we were having a discussion earlier on. Yeah. They shape the worldview of children.
True.
And if you look at someone who shapes the worldview of somebody, it means that they have an influence as to the person's behavior and then the lifestyle. That goes further into our society. And then we generate a culture. Then we would say, okay, Ghana is like this, by reason of even just the little impact that what a teacher is making. For me, I think when it comes to celebrating teachers, we can't just celebrate them enough. But when we see the influence that teachers have had on people choosing careers, on people pursuing certain fields, just by a teacher saying something to someone and saying, I think you're good at this, pursue this, that changes an entire perspective.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at most of our renowned people, even in Ghana and worldwide, at one point in time, they had somebody tell them something. And that most likely was what?
Was
a teacher.
Yeah.
Exactly. And get into the classroom and you understand. You understand, Yeah, and I think that's really where we draw from. They shape the narrative. They change our worldview as well.
So let me bring you in. Let's talk about the role teachers can play or probably should play in bridging the gap between this new age tech and then the traditional teaching methods a lot of people are accustomed to. Let's maybe you can speak to us about that. The role that teachers can play in bridging these two worlds. Let me put it that way.
Thank you so much, Nathan. Teachers are the ones that can make it happen. I can share a story about my little niece. My little niece is 7 years old and she was given a homework. The mother has helped her do the homework, but she wanted my opinion. She said, no, please call auntie for me. I want to hear her opinion. Reason being that she knows the auntie is in education. So the auntie must be right at all times. She doesn't trust the mother. The confidence that teachers bring in, the kind of enthusiasm, the passion teachers put in, teachers can change the narrative of traditional ways of doing education and modern ways. If teachers are given the right tools, government has put in, there's this one teacher, one laptop. There's this motivation for CPD programs. But then, if the teacher is not living that experience and it becomes a bookish experience, they cannot impact. So if today, COVID really was a bad thing, but it was a very good thing in terms of EdTech. When it came, we were just shut. We were not ready. We had to close down schools for years. But the few schools that were ready, they could mobilize and do Zoom. These days, there's the AI teacher, the AI-assisted teacher. You don't really need the teacher to be present. We are not taking away the teacher, but the AI can support after the teacher is also taking a break. So we don't overburden our teachers. If we are giving our teachers the right tools, they have technology in their hands, but how are they using it? If the teacher can prepare his lesson notes or her lesson notes using technology, if the teacher can mark assessments using technology, if parents can see what is happening in the classroom in real time, You don't have to wait for summative assessment at the end of the term before you see whether your child is doing well or not. No, in real time. So those of you who are very busy, you come to work 5 a.m. Your child goes to school 7 a.m. 7:10, if class says you mark attendance at 7:10, 7:10 you go to your app. Is your child there or not? You can track that. And that is the way teachers can bridge the gap. They can bring both parents, they can bring policymakers, they can bring their own leadership in the school to come in on board so that they can train the child. The child is looking at a very early age, they are only observing. They come and play everything about the teacher. They will even play their parents, they'll play their teacher. So if the teacher has that level of education, then the teacher can make a real impact in the life of learners and bridge the gap between traditional ways of doing teaching and modern ways of doing it.
Wonderful. Let me bring you in. You've been a student for a larger part of your life, and then you had a stint as a teacher. So let's talk about or the edtech tools or platforms that you may have had at your disposal in your very short teaching stint. And maybe you can tell us what role you think your own teachers, when you were a student, what role they played in making learning fun with tech and all these new age things we are talking about.
Okay, so when I was younger, I know there were times that certain schools I went to, they tried to integrate edtech, like what she was talking about earlier. There was a platform where you could track attendance, and then you get home from school, then my mom would ask, why were you late to this class? And so she was involved in my school life because of technology. So I would say in my high school career at Day Spring International Academy, so edtech wasn't necessarily integrated in our day-to-day, like 8 hours of school. So it wasn't until after school when we're learning or we're having classes with our teachers after school, then we can now figure out different ways out of the textbook and workbook box to learn more things. So for example, for A-level IT, there's a section which is animation. So you're doing Photoshop, you're doing animation, you're doing video graphics and everything. And nobody wants to do video graphics with a keyboard and a mouse. Like it seems so rigid, it's boring. So we got drawing tablets. This was outside of school hours. We got drawing tablets with our teacher, and then it made it fun. You know, like it brought out our inner child. You're drawing, you're learning how to animate it, you're getting used to it, and the more fun you have learning something, the more likely it is to stick in your mind. I feel like the enjoyment in learning a topic directly correlates to how well somebody would do in that topic or in that subject. So if teachers are unable to bring the joy of the subject to the student is going to lose the passion and the desire to learn about that subject or topic. So I believe teachers have a very, very important role, and they did make use of some technologies, which is the drawing tablet. And for subjects like business or econs, you know, there's so many definitions, there's so many graphs, there's so many things you have to remember. So we used Gizmo AI and Quizlet. I'm sure everybody has heard of Quizlet. So it's like flashcards. So we uploaded our PDFs because our teachers compiled like PowerPoints on every topic. They had PDFs, we had definitions and this, but like it was so long. Like the PDF could be 30 something pages and it's just definitions, and we're like, how are we supposed to remember all of this? Exactly. So we put it into the AI, you know, it made flashcards, it broke everything down, and so at the end of every day we can say, okay, every day we're going to spend 15 minutes doing a flashcard on this, and it segmented it. So at the end of the day, as we ended up doing it, we came to understand that it was fun. I can do it with my friends, and like I got this many wrong, I got this many right. What about you? I did better than you. Like it was fun. It was a fun competition to do. So I feel like the use of that AI and technology really made it quite interesting to learn, you know.
And you when you had to teach for that show, you said it was about 6 weeks. Did you employ any tools at all?
I was the competing teacher. So when I came, I think my first class was year 4.
Okay.
Year 4. So I remember I walked into the class and everybody was making noise and they just went silent. and then
what was the average age of the class?
I think they were about 10, 9. So they went silent. And I asked them, why are you silent? They're joking about this. Nobody wanted to talk. And one of the girls spoke and was like, so your voice is so deep and you're so big. And that's why they're scared. Then I just started laughing and everybody started laughing. I feel like then I cracked some jokes here and there, and then the whole class loosened up. I feel like breaking that barrier was somehow essential. And so, kids are always eager to do something with colors. They're always eager to do something that's different from their paper or their textbook. So I think at their age in the curriculum, they were learning about, Windows, files, this and that. So I got on my own laptop and I was showing them, I had like this interactive desktop background. So it was like things were moving in the background, like, oh wow, like it was so interesting. So it made them even want to learn. How do you do that? I was like, okay, let's get done with this. Then I'll show you this trick. So it made them look forward to it. Exactly. So I'll sit by my laptop. Everybody's gathered around me, and I'm showing them. Okay, so in your textbook, this is what it's supposed to. This is what you're supposed to do. And they're like, oh, okay, I understand. Then I'll say, okay, you've been paying attention. Come and do it. If you can do it, then maybe, just maybe, I'll show you how to do a little game on the file. So it made them really excited to do it, and I feel like I was happy with the results when they wrote their exams at the end, because I knew that I had an impact on these children's lives. I knew that I had an impact increasing their fondness for technology. I knew that it was really an integral part. I know some of them may forget me, but I know most of them would remember that fun experience that they had.
I see.
So yeah.
I see. So the fun part is important.
It is very important.
Fun part is important. Florentia, let me bring you. You've been quiet. You've been listening in, observing, and all of that. What trends are you seeing in edtech adoption, especially in schools? What have you observed in terms of what's been happening so far?
Yeah, so I've observed a lot, but I think the ones that stand out the most, I would even start by saying what we've all been talking about is about interactivity and not making learning feel like a chore.
Okay.
It's supposed to be fun. So I think one of the things that I saw that was adopted, especially after the whole COVID era, was integrating remote learning and also adding the blended learning approach. So I know some of the schools have started incorporating vacation classes where they learn online, weekend classes where they learn online, and they make use of the Google Classroom as well. I've also seen the integration of teacher training, especially with the initiative by Ministry of Education and NTTL, where they have to change the curriculum a little bit and adopt some technology in the curriculum. So I think they rolled it out, and they've been rolling it out in segments. And I think right now it's at the SHS level, where teachers have gone through the curriculum and they know how to implement it. They've learned how to incorporate some interactive activities in the process. So I've seen that, and I've seen, with the CPD that Madam Sarah was talking about. So a lot of the teachers get to, go through all these trainings as well. I have also seen a surge in the need for digital literacy in schools, where sometimes it's even the schools that reach out to some of the tech NGOs to come and, enlighten their students. And I would say an example would be what Azubi Africa did. I think last week we had a team go to Winneba to talk to some school, I think Pearl Academy. And they just taught them about the relevance of technology. A lot of people are scared of technology. It's like immediately, what if I touch it and then it gets spoiled? And oh my God, and then everyone is going to know that I don't know how to do it. So I think that this digital literacy that people, the schools are bringing in, sometimes the NGOs themselves go to the schools to want to enlighten the students and the teachers on some of these new trends. And I think it's been very practical. Is the most practical approach I have seen. We are not waiting for Muhammad to come to the mountain. Now the mountain is coming to Muhammad.
I see. Sarah, let's talk about successful stories, if you have any that you can share of how edtech has maybe transformed your own experience in terms of education, maybe teaching, learning, all of that, or stories that you have heard from third parties.
Great, thank you. Instill Education started in Ghana in 2022, and I'm the country leader. I started Instill in Ghana. One of the things we did was CPD program. We partnered with the National Teaching Council, and at the end of 2022, we had trained over 40,000 teachers in Ghana. 40,000, yes, in Ghana.
That's a colossal
One
number.
of the things that struck me, I've been doing teacher training for some time now. The traditional ways I've done it before, and then tech-enabled I've done it. One of the things that I learned, I loved this 2022 up-to-date journey, is the enthusiasm of teachers. They want to learn. Now, when we started, it's a purely unsupported. It's an online platform. Now it's a mobile app that you go. Now, teachers need to learn how to teach using technology. If they don't know, for instance, you are engaging learners. I use this example because you're a Sunday school teacher, you are a mother who loves children, you can be an early childhood teacher. But that's not early grade teacher. You need to be taught engagement strategies. You have these learners, their attention span is like this, very small. How do you keep their engagement sustained? What Ade said was using technology, so they drew closer. But then if the teacher doesn't know, for instance, learning phonics, a typical example is a teacher from somewhere Western North. You know, I did it countrywide. He called at 2 a.m. and they were learning. I asked myself, why should teachers forget their sleep and be on platform? Our platforms were peaking between 10 p.m. and somewhere to 3 a.m.
Wow.
Yes, and you can find more than 8,000 teachers on the platform learning. And this was not only in Ghana. I've done this recently in Nigeria. The same thing happened. And we checked. They want to learn. That engagement is very interactive. That engagement strategy. So somebody called me, Madam, I'm trying to do it, but you know our network issues. It's not working. I said, refresh. He said, what is refresh? He said, I eventually we had to do video call. And when I showed, oh, Madam, I didn't track Ankuno. These are some of the things. So if we try to think our teachers will be able to teach it because we have put them in curriculum, we are lying to ourselves.
So
we need to consciously be taught how to use technology to teach. What we are taught in the colleges and our schools and even in the private sector, where majority of our graduates, low-cost private schools are SHS graduates, they do not have that. Doing WhatsApp is easy, so you can also use it to learn. We need to consciously teach our teachers these strategies, engagement strategies, even our leadership. I did a training with one government school, I won't mention the name, and then there was a leadership, school leader, and observation. The typical observation is over the shoulder. You go and watch, you call the person, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. But then there was a strategy, a training for how to do observations. At the end of the day, this school leader was amazed the transformation in the school, because engage the person before you start. Let's agree on the terms. Let the person go and do, then you come back, you talk. That one is more relaxing than the supervisor, the watchman, I'm coming after you, I have a cane after you. These are things that are happening in our system. And this is why we need technology. Teachers need to be trained in the use of these technologies, unlearn the traditional ways, the witch hunting approach, and use this approach of more collaborative, engaging strategies so that our learners can find hope and faith in coming to class. Those days when you have mathematics, you don't go there. Because 2 times 2, the 4 will not come, the cane is after you. But then, if your teacher gives you the reason why the 2 and 2 are so, then you are relaxed. You will love mathematics. So these are some of the examples we find.
I think I have a story back in that. So I think my very first SHS that I went to teach mathematics, I entered an art class. You know how art students do not like mathematics.
As art students, we dislike math.
Yeah, like I got there and there were about, if I'm not mistaken, about 5 students in the class. Where are the rest? Or whenever it's time for maths, they leave. So I had to talk to them. And then one time they were having one of their graphics class. And then I went there and I spoke to them and I said, you come to the class. At least you give me the benefit of the doubt. Just come to the class and let's talk. So on their first meeting for Call Maths, they came, and in interacting with them, we all established that it was a foundational problem. We didn't get the foundation from primary JHS. So me, when I see fractions, I don't even want to go there. So I was like, okay, that's fine. We can put the original content that we're supposed to cover for the term on hold for a while, and then we can deal with some of these issues. So I started with fractions with them. And I can tell you this for a fact. Before I get to the class, after some time, before I get to the class, everyone is seated. Madam. And it was really exciting. It was nice to see that outcome after, changing the approach. So just,
Wonderful stuff.
Yeah.
Gideon, we've had a lot, Sarah shared experience, French shared experience. Policies and initiatives, can you tell us a few that are in place that you know of to support teachers in adopting ethics? Because I think the agreement around the table is that this is the new way to go. We need to empower the teachers. But is there any policy, or are there any policies written in law backing teachers or supporting teachers to adopt these new ways of doing things?
Yeah, in terms of policies, I would really defer to the ladies here, because they did really speak a lot about, all these policies. And I would focus on the initiatives, and then maybe Florencia, if you have something on that.
Okay.
But looking at the initiatives, when my brother was speaking, I saw that there is a huge gap between private institutions and then the public institutions. It's so huge, and it keeps getting wider as technology advances. So you realize that now we are in a certain kind of situation where if private sector does not come in to support, then the access to quality education or the access to be able to use EdTech would be very limiting to those in the public sector. So I believe that the current initiatives that are being done, yes, unfortunately, I'll just speak about Azubi Africa and other training programs. It has really transformed the access to quality education. We started Azubi Africa in 2019, but in 2020, COVID hit. And what we had initially was the fact that we were going to do a few days in person and then some days online. The night before we were to roll out was when we had fellow Ghanaians.
Yeah, the first one.
So that was the first one. Immediately, I had to call one of my colleagues, Wendell, shout outs to him. And I called him and like, Charlie, we need to change this thing. So we came up with a plan and we switched to virtual. We switched to virtual, and our info sessions, everything that we needed to do became virtual. We changed our entire program to 100% virtual. This allowed us to cover not only Ghana but Africa.
A lot more, yeah.
You get it. And then also allow people who are persons with disability to now join the program. So we had persons who were visually impaired, persons who were hard of hearing. And this is by some of the tools that Florencia mentioned, like Microsoft Teams, for instance. You will be able to see closed captions. So for someone who was hard of hearing, you'd see the closed captions. Someone who was visually impaired, he or she could hear what was going on through they have this speaker thing that So these are some of the initiatives that when private sector, businesses, institutions come up with, it allows other people to have access to quality education as opposed to what we currently have now. When you were speaking about all these tools and other things, I remember the story. Mine was, I went into the classroom and the school had 2 computers.
Okay.
One in the headmistress's office, which does not work, and the other in the junior high school side, which is only used by the ICT teacher.
Okay.
So now here I am, class 3 students, and I need to teach them ICT. I need to teach them about a desktop. There is nothing to show it. I literally drew it on the board. And then I had to now come up with ways. So like our mother was saying that you need to be innovative about how you go about the teaching. I told them, this is what you have on the board, but your desktop is also in front of you. They have their desk. They saw a pencil. What do you use? They could relate to the pencil that they used to write in a book. Then I said, okay, this is what Microsoft Word. That is what you related to. So they now began seeing these things as something they could relate to. From there, the next time I brought in a laptop, and then I showed them the mouse and the engagement part. So some didn't know how to hold the mouse. So I just said, oh, just do this. So anytime they saw me, they were like, you know, and it really allows the students to engage. And yes, very much. And so when you look at this, how do we really improve accessibility? How do we really improve how students are able to use these EdTech tools? Teachers are a huge role in it. If I wasn't IT savvy or anything, I wouldn't have been able to, do that kind of thing and allow them to have interest in it. Women were not interested in ICT. Like she said, some would walk out, some would pretend there's something wrong with them because they never thought that this was something they could actually pursue. Today with Azubi Africa and other programs, I know Blossom does it, I know Malitech and several other, a lot of women are going into tech. Learning data analytics, learning cloud, learning front-end engineering, software engineering. Yes, it's there. So I think these are some of the initiatives that are really going on now.
Let me come to you. He was talking about engagement. You also mentioned engagement. So this is a bit of a reverse question, but what role do students play in encouraging or influencing teachers to take up EdTech and all these new things?
So I'll start off by saying this. Teachers make students, and students make teachers.
Okay.
You can't have one without the other. If one is giving you 10%, the other one is going to, and the other one is at 100, it's going to start, the percentage will start dropping, like the commitment, the readiness is going to start dropping. So students play a key role in making teachers adopt EdTech because, for example, like I said when I was speaking earlier about the flashcards or the drawing tablet, we as a class, we knew how we would want to learn. I would say we can see that because we're final year students. Like, we had an understanding of, okay, I know I'm a visual learner. I need to see something and I learn it easily. Like, I'm a visual learner. If I see something, you explain it to me, it's easier for me to grasp. Others, like, they need to write it, they need to draw it, they need to, like, put it in their own way for them to understand it. And so after our classmates expressed this to the teachers, so the teachers became a bit more understanding to different ways they can, teach students. So I know one of my classmates, shout out to him, Clinton, like, he did literature and law, and then I know the teacher, what he did was, for example, like Hamlet or Macbeth, like, they had like these visual plays. So like they'll watch the play script for script, not the abridged version, but the actual one on their laptop. So he is like, so he'll watch it. Okay, they said this. It's better than him reading it. Books can get very boring. They can get very boring. So that's just the reality of it. So if he didn't, communicate, like, I feel like a lot of problems come down to really poor communication, because some people want to talk but others don't want to listen, and some don't want to listen. I'm sorry, some are listening but others aren't talking. So I feel like if students don't express and teachers aren't ready to listen to students, as obviously students have to be respectful, say it in a manner that doesn't come across as undermining authority. Because if there's one thing I've come to realize being in different schools, being with many teachers, I've had some very good teachers and I've had some not so good teachers. That's a given. That's a given. But one thing that I realized about some of the not so good teachers I've experienced was, sometimes children can be very, how do I say, they can be very demanding. Like, they can be very proud in a sense, like entitled. That's the word. Yeah, it's more like, why should I do it? Give me a reason why I should do it. I don't understand. But then when the child says I don't understand, the teacher says do it. The teacher doesn't explain the reason why exactly. So I feel like even though children have to be respectful and sit in a respectful manner, the teachers also have to be ready to open up and sometimes take the time to help the child understand. So all in all, I feel like if students really push it to teachers that, okay, I think we can, if I don't understand this now, but your period is over, so let's schedule for like 7 p.m. We can hop on Zoom. I can get my classmates. We can do this together. Or send me the lesson notes. Let me put them into my flashcards so that we can generate flashcards. We can use it for a class test. You never know. Or when we're doing this or that, like, how am I supposed to do it? I appreciate you telling me this. So like my IT teacher will give us like tips and tricks or like fun games to do, like, okay, animate this. So first class we can animate, let's say, figures. The next class we're animating them fighting. In the next class, now they're on a football pitch. They're doing something and there's more figures. So you're building on it in a fun way. So the teacher is relaxed. His work is reducing because we have enjoyed it to the point that we are doing more research by ourselves because of the technology and the tips and tricks that he's brought to the class. So all in all, technology makes a teacher's work easier. So teachers shouldn't be reluctant to embrace it. But it may be difficult for them to grasp it at first, but in the end, it makes it easier for the teachers and the students enjoy the class more. If the students enjoys the class more, it speaks more to the teacher because how they do on their exams, how they do on every assessment is a reflection of the teacher. Like they say, children are a reflection of their parents. What they taught you at home, that's how you go outside and go and act. And academically, students are a reflection of their teachers. So that's what I'll say about that.
Wonderful stuff. I like that two-way communication. So it means that teachers need to understand that if I have a classroom of 30 students, not all of them learn the same way.
Exactly.
So it means teachers will have to now know what works for
style.
each one, and then you adapt your teaching
I think
approach.
it's even more about adopting a delivery approach that caters to all the learning styles, whether they are read and write, whether they are visual, they are auditory, or they are kinesthetic. So yes, you have to ensure that you have learning activities that cater to all of these learners so that at the end of the lesson, everyone gets to pick.
Everybody gets, exactly.
I see. Wonderful stuff. If you just tuned in, it's the November edition of EdTech Monday. My name is Nathan Kwa. My guest in studio, I've got Florencia Tay, Ademilade Adebanjo, Sarah Osei, and Gideon Saki. We are talking about change makers in the classroom. We are celebrating teachers as drivers of EdTech adoption. You can send in your thoughts and comments on 0549986996. Florencia, let me come back to you. Let's talk about. So we've painted very interesting pictures. We've picked out some very interesting highlights and ideas and all. But in everything there are challenges, right? And even till now, 2024, there are challenges. So what are some of the challenges that are hampering, let me put it that way, the widespread adoption of EdTech in schools?
At this point, I'm going to borrow Gideon's experience. I think it's mostly on the wide gap that has already been created by like infrastructure, the lack of the logistics that they need, even for the teacher training and then for the learners to use. For example, they would need some apps that are sometimes paid. And some of the schools cannot even afford those ones. I think the tablets or laptops that are going to be used, as Gideon said, he goes to a whole school and there are only two computers.
One doesn't work.
Thank you. So technically it's just one. Now that is definitely going to hinder a teacher who is even willing to teach using technology. Because let's say all the teachers in the school on that day want to use the one desktop.
It's a desktop.
How do you do it?
It's a desktop, yeah.
Exactly. We also have the issue of limited internet, especially for those in the rural areas. Electricity issues as well. We also have an issue of what's the name of this thing? Data-driven information.
Okay.
You said something about even communication. Now, as a teacher, you would need that data to be able to ascertain that, okay, this percentage of my learners are visual learners, this percentage of my learners are kinesthetic learners.
They are more likely to react to this.
Exactly, and we need to use feedback. Now, there's no actual system of getting feedback in the classroom. of the kind of learners you have. There's some learners who, let's say if you're handling
aren't exercises and tests and quizzes and those things
feedback enough?
Wouldn't you grade them as feedback enough?
No,
it's just quantitative.
Yes, exactly.
Fair point.
Yes, exactly. You would need qualitative because there are some learners who would not even say anything. Imagine if you're handling, like, let's say a class of 45, and that's just one class. You have like A class, B class, C class. You would definitely not remember the details of everyone.
Okay.
You would have to have a system to structure all of them. Organized thoughts or organized visuals is a better way of getting data. And I think that's one of the things that are limiting us, or one of the challenges in using that as well. So
I see. This is quite interesting because I would typically use quantitative feedback. So, you get it? Like, I'd use numbers to say, okay, X number of students pass this test.
Some people pass tests but do not have the skills.
They don't
because they do well in memorization.
I know there have been times I myself have passed tests because I memorized. So I knew that I have a test. I don't understand it, but I don't have enough time to understand it.
So you have to memorize.
I can just they cut you and pull.
I get so I guess the thing really is impacting the knowledge and the skill, not necessarily looking at exam results.
No.
They don't paint the full picture.
No, they don't. So even with us at Azubi Africa, though we send out surveys like after every session, we have to get quantitative data on how was the session like. Even within the session, we send out like polls to find out, hey, how are you feeling? And all these things are good. Then afterwards, maybe if you see some weird, quote unquote, weird comments that they share, then you can reach out to that specific learner and be like, hey, I saw this, is everything okay, can we talk? And that's when we have continuous discovery, which means that we get more points to continually refine our sessions. And I think it's something that if we find a system to adopt it to our traditional classrooms, it would really, really help.
I see. Yeah. Wonderful stuff.
I have a question, and it's interesting. When you look at our public school system, has there ever been a time when there have been surveys asked to the students about their teachers?
Oh,
not really.
Yes. There are, but they're too scared.
Exactly, where they would really be candid enough.
Exactly. Being candid, this is one thing, but the surveys are being run. Florentia mentioned something, and I think it boils down to the assessment tools we're using. And if our assessment is looking at quantitative data, then that is where we are missing out. In a class of 45, as she said, teacher comes, you know, the administrative task of the teacher is so huge that it doesn't allow the teacher to go through the instructional processes that the teacher is supposed to do. So the teacher also is tied to time. You are supposed to finish X curriculum within that period, and that is where you are assessed. Why didn't you do it? The fact that Sarah was sick and Sarah had issues, I need to manage it. It's unrelated. So if technology can help to narrow down the administrative tasks of teachers, the instructional time will be increased, and teachers will have time on tasks, time on supporting learners to do the things that they want to do. Teachers do not have time. We are robust on outcome. How many students got once in your classroom? Yes. You're teaching literature, nobody got an A. No, you need to be queried. But then, who is looking beyond the A? Are we all A? Is it the academic A criteria we're looking at, or how well is the person equipped to face society after high school? So these are the things, the discussions we need to be having, and to be moving a little bit away from the quantity and look at quality.
And to touch on what you were saying, I feel like something that's really neglected in, I would say, most parts of Africa is what you said about, how many students got an A. Sometimes some students may understand it, but due to, let's say, learning disabilities or problems learning, it's sometimes exam stress. Students get very anxious. Some students can concentrate. Some students have like different things that keep their mind always scrambling here and there. So they struggle to really finish and go through the exams. And so, in the end, they may understand it. But at that moment, they don't know what to write. And then the grade comes out, and instead of them to have, they have the capability to get an A*, and they get a B or a C. And now they question the teacher. But then now it's on the teacher to be like, I know this student has a problem. How am I supposed to help this student get past this problem? But most of the time, that doesn't happen.
I see.
So I feel like that's one of the fundamental problems in the education sector that I have seen personally firsthand.
It's more like it's supposed to be like a one size fits all, but the reality on the ground is not. The battleground and the battlefield is always different per class, per school, per geographic location.
Per student.
Yes.
Oh man, all too soon. Our time is up. Let me thank my guest, Ademilade Adebanjo. He's a graduate of Dayspring. Pardon me. Dayspring International Academy. He had a brief stint as a teacher, so he's been sharing some very interesting perspectives from a student and a teacher's perspective. Ademilade, thank you for coming. Florian Chatel was also joined as learning experience analyst at Azubi Africa. It was great having you, Florencia. Thank you. Sarah Osei, founding partner, ESDE Foundation Africa, and West Africa lead in still education. Sarah, it was an honor having you. And Gideon Saki, tech career coach at Azubi Africa. Gideon, thank you so much for joining us.
That's a blessing.
All right.
Thank you for having us.
All right. And that's the November edition of EdTech Mondays. My name is Nathan Kwame. Many thanks for listening. It was a great time. Today we focused on teachers. We are celebrating teachers as drivers of EdTech adoption. Like I said at the start of the show, EdTech Monday is a platform for EdTech entrepreneurs, education stakeholders, government reps to facilitate critical conversations on the use of technology for teaching and learning. It's live on the Citi Breakfast Show the last Monday of every month. It was live on Citi 97.3 FM, live on Citi 97.3 FM on Facebook, and live on West Africa's Facebook page. Right, let's get into the news at